Dan Lebatard.
You decided to celebrate Guillermo's horrible contribution to the show with a hello.
Hello.
Stugats.
That's an affirmation. When you get a hello from me, that's like the equivalent of 5 exclamation points or 4.5 smiley faces. Hello.
This is the Dan Lebatard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
If you missed any of our interviews, go check them out on demand in the Dan Lebatard podcast, brought to you by the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Happy 54th birthday to Jay Buhner.
Happy birthday to him. I don't care. Good luck.
Dude could mash. I mean, they're the Buhner years. You know, we talk about the Brady Anderson year. They were the Buhner years. It was a 3-year period where he was so much better than he was for the other 15 seasons he played in the major leagues. I mean, it was amazing.
Mid-90s Mariners, coolest baseball team.
Oh, 40, 44, and 40
Are
homers.
they?
Yeah.
Are they?
Dude,
Hold on a
they
second.
had the young A-Rod, Ken Griffey Jr., who was every kid's favorite baseball player, not just because he was awesome, but also because he wore his hat backwards. Big unit. It was just, I mean, star after star.
Mike, you're leaving out Tino Martinez. I mean,
Both of them.
Well, hold on a second. What are the coolest baseball teams of all time? The Big Red Machine, correct?
yeah. I would say
We Are Family Pirates.
Yeah, the Pirates,
Yeah.
Willie Stargell, the Candyman, John Candelaria.
03 Marlin.
I would say like early 80 Royals. That's a pretty good one.
Early 80
Oh,
Royals.
Brett.
Yeah, George
Fine
Brett,
car.
The
UL
Idiots.
Washington.
Boston Red Sox idiots.
Early 90 Athletics.
Oh,
that's it.
Canseco McGuire.
Yeah.
And wasn't Ricky Henderson on
Yes.
that team, too? Oh,
Yes.
you're going to have a hard time beating that. And Eckersleeve's out there.
And Dave
Eck.
Stewart. I mean,
Dave Stewart.
Stu. I mean,
Oh, come on. Who's going to beat that? You're not going to be able to beat that.
I think Carney Lansford was on that team.
Okay, you just ruined it.
Thanks, you guys.
That guy was a professional.
Carney
hitter.
Lansford is what you just put with.
Hey, a 300 career hitter, I think.
How are
Carney
you
Lansford.
helping the coolest team? Okay, people.
With
No,
Carney.
just shut up for a second. Just shut up. Don't move your fingers. Just shut up. Go sit outside for 2 minutes. I want the internet to Google right now, image search Carney Lansford, and look at what Stugats is putting on the coolest baseball team of all time just because he wanted to flex his Carney Lansford muscle. Get out of here.
And he hit under 300.
What a
290.
jerk. Look at Carney Lansford, Mike. Is that cool?
Wow.
No,
He looks like an actual Carney.
not cool.
Yeah, I was guessing that was his nickname
that-
because he looks like
That's
an
right.
actual
He looks
Carney.
like the guy running the Himalaya. That is correct. You gotta be kidding me.
He's got to be
Stugats.
missing 3 fingers.
You're the worst, Stugats. Billy, help me out here with something. You guys were laughing at Paul Feinbaum's sound here on Clemson that was playing during the break. You were trying to get me to talk about something regarding Paul Feinbaum earlier this week.
So I like to play this game called Guess What This Person Has to Say About That. And it's really just a way to play sound. So, Kelly Bryant was in the news because he did not get a ring. Guess what Paul Feinbaum thought about Kelly Bryant not getting a ring? Now, you have to guess before we play it.
Well, the guess is it's going to be whatever favors Alabama. No? Like, is it, or whatever favors the SEC. Is that not the, so whichever way, so rip the guy from the ACC because he's not a guy from the SEC.
But Kelly Bryant transferred to Missouri, which is an SEC
Oh, a
school.
conundrum.
Technically,
Yeah, but they're Johnny come lately.
So is he pro-ring or anti-ring here? What do you think?
No, he's got to be anti.
Gotta be
He's
anti.
it's Clemson. Clemson took all Alabama stuff.
Right.
Dabo Swinney and Clemson are dominating this current class, but I think somewhere along the line, Matt, some parent is going to see this and maybe misunderstand it. I think we all understand, we all know that you have to be on the team, as Dabo said. But what would have been wrong with awarding Kelly Bryant a ring? He led them to a victory last year over Texas A&M. I mean, it wasn't like he quit the team. He made a business decision after 4 games. He had to get out if he was going to have another year of eligibility. I think had Dabo done that, we would be sitting here this morning saying, man, that's really cool. Dabo's a great guy. Instead, there is a debate, and there are certainly 2 sides to it, but I think it was the wrong move.
Once again, favoring the SEC over the ACC. Kelly Bryant, now an SEC player, in Paul Feinbaum's good graces.
What was the sound that was playing during the commercial where he's talking about Clemson, and Feinbaum's clearly running scared of Clemson. Clemson closed that gap faster than I thought they would, than everyone thought they would, right? We thought Alabama was going to be able to stack the recruiting advantages on top of each other forever.
He's talking all this smack about Dabo playing the sort of underdog role. Like, quit doing that. And I get it, but just, Paul, I know what you're doing. You got your audience. Keep Clemson's name out your mouth. 44-16, brother. Wear it. Just wear it. They're the best right now. Alabama can play the underdog card. I understand what you're doing with Dabo, and you're taking your shots here, and you're siding with Kelly Bryant over Dabo. Clemson took the stuff. You got to take the stuff back. Just stop taking the shots at the conference that Clemson's from. This is a Miami take. I'm a Miami homer. Just stop taking a shot at the ACC. We got the champ.
Clemson is overwhelming, and I think I can say for the audience, because it is how I was thinking, there wasn't going to be a way to close the Alabama gap once they found a quarterback, because they've done all their winning without a quarterback. And then they had a quarterback, and Clemson trumps them with sunshine from Remember the Titans.
Yeah, well, they won with Deshaun Watson, too. The Kelly Bryant, who deserves, I mean, he did win a quarter of their games last year. Come on, Dabo, give the kid a ring. Paul was right. Oh, how about that?
I love the fact that Clemson has found a way to actually be a legitimate rival to Alabama. It was going to get so boring there if it was just going to be Alabama running things, but now it might get boring because it's Clemson running things. If they got the 4 number 1 receivers that Marty Smith is talking about.
I mean, Clemson, Alabama still is viewed nationally as like, yeah, they're rivals, but it's not really built on this hate. And college football, despite being the 3rd major sport in this country, that's still viewed as a regional type of thing. I wonder if now, as they potentially play for a 5th time, if it'll finally get that intense national attention.
Well, you were mentioning the ACC in Miami, and Greg Cody loves to write columns about University of Miami football, and he wants your clicks, and the quarterback has been decided here, and I'm sure Greg Cody has opinions about the University of Miami not being anywhere welcome in this discussion because they've never won the ACC and not even a title.
People are being so hard on Tate Martell, Greg. You wrote a column, right?
I did.
This was the Dan Levatar Show on ESPN Radio.
We live in a racist country.
This is the moment we wait for all year long. Summer. There's tennis to play, races to catch, baseball games to soak up, and softball leagues to win. Make sure you always get where you need to be with Pennzoil Synthetic Motor Oil. It's the first motor oil made from natural gas. That's right, motor oil made from natural gas. It gives you unbeatable engine protection for an unbeatable summer. The proof is in the Pennzoil, based on Sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30.
You're a small business owner, and there's nothing small about what you do. That's why Dell Small Business Technology Advisors give you trusted advice, one-on-one partnership, and tailored tech solutions, like computers with Intel Core processors, servers, storage, networking, plus thousands of top-brand electronics, accessories, and software. No matter your technology needs, Dell is here to help your small business do big things. Call 877-BUY-DELL to speak with an advisor today. That's 877-BUY-DELL.
This is Halftime.
Talking with Carrington Harrison, Sports Radio 610 radio host in Kansas City.
All of us love and appreciate college football. Like, I mean, you're in Arkansas, so obviously you love college football. I think that there's a pretty clear line of teams in the SEC that are better than Missouri. I don't think that Missouri fans would argue you too much. Like, Alabama is obviously better than Georgia is clearly better. LSU is clearly better than them. And then I think there's like a clear line, and then Missouri fans feel like they're better than all the rest of those programs, and Arkansas is certainly one of those programs. Like, I know that there's a competition and a rivalry and all that kind of stuff. In football, Missouri's just better than Arkansas. Like, I don't really concern myself with Arkansas. Like, they're kind of a team that every year I kind of pencil that in for a W whenever I see the schedule come out. Basketball, it's been back and forth. They're pretty similar programs, I think, on the hardwood, and Arkansas has certainly been better of late. But football-wise, yeah, I don't really look at Arkansas as that much of competition.
Every weekday from 12 to 2, only on ESPN 95.3.
Looking for a new home course this golf season? Eagle Crest Golf Course has memberships as low as $83 a month for Zoysia fairways and bent grass greens. Is your whole golf group ready to join Eagle Crest? 4 new members can join for just $1,150 each for the entire year. Individual annual memberships are just $1,250 a year. Call Eagle Crest Golf Course right now for all the details. 632-8857. That's 632-8857. Eagle Crest Golf Course, Highway 64, just east of Alma.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
If you're a landowner, hobby farmer, or full-time farmer, Bush Machine & Tractor knows how important this time of year is for you. So make the most of it with a brand new Branson tractor. Offering tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, they have the tractor that's right for you. Make the most of your time this year and ask about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer is Bush Machine & Tractor in Fort Smith. Check out their inventory at bushtractor.com.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the absolute best bacon in town. Why, you ask? Because Art's Barbecue and Burgers brines, then smokes their own bacon in-house. Try the BLT with a side of your choice, or have bacon added to any sandwich at Art's, including any of their great burgers or barbecue sandwiches. Hickory smoked, life-changing bacon. Add it to any sandwich or entree at Art's Barbecue and Burgers on Rogers Avenue next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
Does this sound like you?
Or is this more like it?
Or maybe your inner biker sounds like...
No matter what motorcycle motor is music to your ears, Shelter Insurance has a policy that's music to your wallet.
Shelter insures your fun stuff. Motorcycles to riding mowers, ATVs to RVs, bikes to bass boats. If it rides, rolls, or floats, we can cover it. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Ask Shelter agents Randy Milam or Brad Howe about a free insurance review.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Dangerous heat and humidity will continue today. We're looking at high temperatures in the mid-80s north, upper 90s south with our heat index readings that could be well through the 100s. Mainly clear sky north tonight, mid-60s. Could see some showers and storms south, low 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by Mosquito Joe. Don't let mosquitoes ruin your outside fun this year. Call Mosquito Joe at 479-202-9960 to keep your yard mosquito-free, or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
ESPN2. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 18 days.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here! Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson.
You do a fantastic job on the radio. There's no one else in this league I'd rather listen to, so keep up the good work.
And Tye Richardson.
Guys do a good job, and I'll listen to you guys.
2 more quarters, and after that, most of you will never play this game again.
D-Mac, hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown.
How about that Heisman, Mark Jones?
How do you like
it? Wide open again.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Beautiful and warm. It's not warm. It's disgustingly hot today across the Natural State. Good day to be outside for practice number 10 for Arkansas football. Another morning practice, which means I guess they get it a little bit cooler than it'll be when they're talking to the media, or at least whatever defensive assistants are provided by the Arkansas Sports Information Department for media members to talk to. That's what they'll have going on, I guess, right about now, or about 30 minutes or so. And we're happy to be with you today on this steamy afternoon across the Natural State. Phil Elson along with Tye Richardson in the ESPN Arkansas studios. Get with us today on the Cherokee Casino hotline at 877-377-6963. If you do text us, give us your name and location. We can give you your proper due. Tye, you'd mentioned something yesterday. I think it was during a commercial break about how we're a little bit spoiled doing a radio show at 12 o'clock because that means we can break some news that other stations, other shows on this station too, can't really be breaking. Not a lot of news breaks in the morning, or at least during morning radio hours.
Yeah.
I would think news that does break between the time of 6 and 9 o'clock in the morning, sports-wise, is not good sports news. That would usually be stuff that comes from about 1 or 2 in the morning, the kind of stuff you don't want to hear, or the kind of stuff that might be semi-entertaining, like a Baker Mayfield being tackled on Dixon Street, which leads to all sorts of things that you can talk about.
Dixon Street, it'll get you.
It does, and then it gives you some things to talk about at 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the morning. And so, we get a chance from 12 to 2 every day, aside from flapping our gums and talking about things that are different between people that are 42 years of age and 24 years of age, and opinions on football, basketball, and baseball and other things. We can actually break some news every once in a while. We did break something yesterday, and I can't exactly remember what it was. It was the festival that's going to be taking part right around Reynolds Razorback Stadium 4 hours leading up to game day. I don't even remember what they called it.
Hogtown.
Hogtown, that's right. That was our news that we got to break yesterday, a chance to be journalists and basically read off of a press release, which is probably easier than it really sounds. And then, as we're getting ready for the show today, and one of the topics we wanted to get to was could rage be the right thing to the right thing to say when you're talking about Barrett Sallee's list of the best college football programs across the country, state by state? Would rage be the right? Is that the right emotion that I'm describing from you, Tye? Or is that probably the right emotion that every Arkansas fan that goes to CBSSports.com and sees the front-facing Red Wolf logo there representing the four corners of the state of Arkansas instead of really the one quarter of the state that it does represent in many people's eyes? Is rage the right thing to talk about, Tye? Because I'm sort of feeling it from you today.
I think the best reaction has to be taken from a clip you wanted me to clip out a couple weeks back. And it's Mike Francesa.
I can't even believe it!
I mean, that's probably the best way to react to that story. And Barrett has been doing this quite some time, formerly at Bleacher Report, now with CBS Sports. He knows
that's why you can believe it, because it's who it's coming from.
Yeah, and I like Barrett. Like, I'm not going to pretend like we're the best of friends or anything, but I like know him. He knows me, and he's very smart, very good at his job, is very good in just kind of knowing college football, particularly SEC football. But there's certain things he does to garner a reaction out of fan bases, and it's not out of spite, it's not out of hatred, it's just in all good fun. But the question has actually arisen out of his article yesterday: has Arkansas State surpassed Arkansas as the better Division I football program inside the Natural State? And the answer is a resounding no, and we can get into that however you want, whenever you want. And trust me, I'll lay some facts on you. And I think first of all, we have a few Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas listeners to the program via hitthatline.com, but predominantly, Phil, there are listeners right now, whether it's on ESPN Arkansas or hitthatline.com, TuneIn, or wherever, that live in Arkansas Razorbacks parts of the state. So they just assume that, but then there's certain people that tend to think that Arkansas State would actually be considered the best football program in the state. So we got a lot to talk about this segment for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot to get to there, but there really was breaking news coming from the athletic department as we were in the run-up to the show about 30 minutes before we got on the air today. Another announcement of another series with Arkansas and Oklahoma State, although this series takes you into the 2030s. I mean, really, we're scheduling way out, as I guess you expect when you're looking for one Power 5 or major independent opponent per year, as is mandated now and in policy amongst the SEC. So you schedule much farther out than you had been, and already Arkansas and Oklahoma State are playing 2024 in Fayetteville, 2027 in Stillwater. Now they announce a 2032-2033 series, and on top of the announcement, playing Rice again for the first time in 30-some years. This is kind of looking. No, backwards isn't the right way, but you're playing opponents that you used to play every year. I mean, Arkansas and Rice in the Southwest Conference for decades, and Arkansas and Oklahoma State played every year, 1962 through 1980. Usually those games were played in Little Rock when Arkansas had them at home.
Yeah, like 20. I think they went 21-4 in that stretch. Arkansas had a pretty good record against the Cowboys.
Well, and so that would be the breaking news, I guess. But I mean, really. It's good to know that you're playing a team that's just about 130 miles away. It is theoretically that's closer than Little Rock, really, when you think about it, which that adds to a different conversation we can have at another time. But that's a bus trip instead of a flight. That's a money saver and a money maker at the same time, and good cross conference rivalry to get back to. And I mean, this is when we even talked about the idea of Arkansas playing against Utah, in the late of next decade. Who the heck knows who the coaches are going to be then? We could be all excited about the thought of Mike Gundy versus Chad Morris, but is that even going to happen in 6 years when they play each other first? And then you're looking 15 years down the line. So buy your tickets now. They're going to be hot. And so hot would be the next thing to look at here, which is what Arkansas fans would be when they see a pundit who knows his stuff. Barrett Saley knows his stuff. And I think you're getting into the idea too, Tye, of something that I'm getting to. He knows how to stir things up. I've had a Twitter interaction with Barrett about a year and a half ago that had a little snottiness to it, which I guess is the way that people communicate on Twitter. Usually, if there's any sort of disagreement, there's going to be snarkiness. He's good at the snark. He's good at piquing the interest of certain people by, I wouldn't say going negative. He's not going negative on Arkansas, really, because the truth of the matter is here, Tye, if you're looking at recent history and you're looking at potential win totals for the teams that he's talking about this year, Arkansas State might actually belong ahead of Arkansas. In the grand scheme of it, in the entire history of college football, there's no doubt Arkansas is way ahead of Arkansas State in terms of virtually everything. Number of games played, fans that attend, winning seasons, bowl seasons, 10-win seasons, national championships. But I don't think that's what he's writing about right now. I think he's writing about this year's team, not necessarily what would happen if Arkansas and Arkansas State would match up on the field, but in terms of success expected from the 2019 versions of Arkansas and Arkansas State. And keep in mind, he also is writing about Central Arkansas and UAPB, or not writing about them. I mean, basically doesn't even mention them. Any of the FBS or FCS programs in each state are eligible for Barrett's picking. So I think he probably got it right, and got it right not just for this year, but for the last couple of years. It's just it's a bitter pill to swallow. It doesn't mean that this is the way it's always going to be.
So this is the blurb from him from CBSSports.com. It says, Arkansas went from bad to worse in 2018 when it went 2-10 in Chad Morris's first year at the helm. Across the state, Arkansas State went 8-5 and 5-3 in the Sun Belt. They both got smoked by Alabama, so there's that comparison. It's impossible for us to put a 2-10 team in here when there's another FBS program that went 8-5. Maybe the two would play each other every once in a while, ... So he's kind of not only egging on the comparison, but egging on the competition aspect of this. And it's... Yeah,
and again, that's somebody that knows how to pick at a fan base to, open up some scabs.
And I hesitate to say rivalry because I believe they've only competed in one sport, and that was that NIT basketball game that Bob talked about a week or two ago that they met, and Arkansas won after being down like 20+, but... Something people think it's a rivalry, but I think the funniest comparison when you look at the two schools, Phil, in terms of the football aspect, is according to College Football Reference, Arkansas State has never, ever been in the AP poll. Not one time.
They got a vote? Didn't they get a vote or two or three or something like that a couple of years ago? Which isn't being in the poll. I know. You're going top 25. You're not extrapolating those votes to mean that they were 46th in the country.
I can't speak to that because I don't know, but I'm just going off this, and I looked it up, and there's no history. I did my best to research it again. This could be, I'm 99% sure this is correct, but according, again, to College Football Reference, Arkansas State has never, ever in the history of their program since 1974 been associated with the Associated Press poll. Arkansas, on the other hand, and then their history is a little longer. They started football in 1906.
A little bit longer. It's a lot longer. Let me give you an example here. Arkansas has lost more games, 480, than Arkansas State has played.
Yeah.
431.
So, but if you wanted to compare since like 1974, which I understand, if you want to do that, that's fine. A-State only has 2 10-win seasons since they started football in 1974. Arkansas has 9 in that span, Phil. So the comparison, this is hard to do sometimes when you talk about just comparing sports programs. Are you comparing what's happening right now or what's happened over the course of the history? And if you look at the course of the history, Arkansas crushes A-State by a landslide. But as you mentioned, if you look particularly the last 2 years, if you could spread it out to a little more, Arkansas State has had equal to or more success in Arkansas. And again, that's painful for me to say right now, but it's just
he's
true.
Literally wincing every time he says it.
Yeah.
I can see on the FaceTime here, it's like a chunk of hair is falling out every time you admit that Arkansas State might actually right now, or at least sound like you are admitting it right now, not be the better football program, but just be the more successful relative to their standing in the college football landscape.
And it's so hard because these programs play in such different conferences. Arkansas plays not only in the toughest conference, but the toughest division in college football, and the Sun Belt does not equate to that. We know that. Everyone who watches an ounce of college football knows that the Sun Belt does not match up to what the SEC has to offer, and because these teams don't play on the gridiron, it's hard to determine what would actually happen if they do. So our halftime poll question, Bill, that I put out there, I'm curious the response on this, and you can get us on our Cherokee Casino hotline, 877-377-6963, is would Arkansas beat Arkansas State today in football? And I honestly think and people could be offended by that all they want, but it's, at this point in time, maybe last year it would have been a more reasonable question. This team looks probably a little better, especially at the quarterback position and a couple others that we talked about, but people want to know, and they're not going to get to know, which, I've told you many times I'm fine with, but I would actually be curious the outcome if these two teams met on the football field.
Look, there are Power 5 schools that are left off of Barrett's list and have schools that replace them that would make you shudder. Rutgers isn't listed as the best football program in New Jersey. And honestly, who cares? Football in New Jersey. Princeton is picked as the best team in New Jersey. I mean, even just to our east, Tennessee, Memphis. He chose Mike Norvell's Tigers. And probably rightfully so, as the team that's expected to have more success right now than the much bigger and much more successful program historically in that state, Tennessee. If we're shocked by seeing Arkansas State picked as a better, more successful program right now than Arkansas, how do you think Volunteer fans would feel? If Barrett Sallee is getting it from Arkansas fans and getting it from us a little bit right now, they're crushing him in Knoxville. Or maybe they're just piling a couple more expectations on Jeremy Pruitt and the Vols. That's got to hurt for Tennessee to see Memphis there. That's just sort of shocking when you think about it. But then again, that's also true. That's true relative to the success that these programs are having upon their standing in the national landscape of college football. Arkansas State is ahead of Arkansas. Memphis is ahead of Tennessee. And definitely the fact that Arkansas and Tennessee play in such ridiculously difficult. I mean, the East is tougher than the West this year in some cases. But you play who you play against, and Barrett Sallee gets to say what he wants in his column.
And Arkansas State fans react to it. I mean, that's what he wanted. That's what he got. I was actually surprised yesterday. I tweeted at him. I was going to text him, but I held off from him. And he said there weren't many Arkansas fans in his mentions. Now, that was kind of early after his article was published yesterday, but I think there's been a few more fans that have gotten at him a little bit.
But I feel there's an understanding amongst the fans now that, I mean, you can't hide behind the overall history of Arkansas football relative to what's happened in these last 5 years. I mean, we've gotten into this quite a bit, and hopefully we don't have to in a couple of months when you have a sense of what the season is shaping up to be. This 5-year slump is one that Arkansas has never been through before.
I mean,
and this is where you are right now. And during those 5 years, Arkansas State happens to be one of the more successful mid-major college football programs.
I hate to read you the riot act, but we need to. 4-8, 2012, 3-9, 2013, 7-6, 2014, 2015, your best year, 8-5. Your best year, 8-5, 7-6 in 2016. A team that should have been a lot better than they were. 2017, 4-8. Last year, 2-10. Almost said 3-9. I gave him too much credit. 2-10. Like who's excited about that stretch? Who in college? Like Arkansas fans, when they hear that stretch, it's just cringeworthy. It's awful, and it should be. That's not the expectation of Arkansas football. That's not the blood, sweat, and tears that Frank Broyles and so many others put in this program. They didn't want it. He would be ashamed. He would be rolling over in his grave if he's seen what Arkansas football can become right now. 100%. He would be so angry, so frustrated to see what has happened with this football program. And you know why, Phil? Because he put so much time and effort into making sure this little Arkansas was respected. Period. End of story. And so when you crap on a legacy that he and so many others established, it's not just him. Yet, I mean, so many others who have been through this program would be ticked off.
A lot of folks are rolling over in their graves.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much put it in the right terms. Something to ask Greg Cook later on. Former Arkansas offensive lineman, longtime NFLer, and current Houston Sports Talk host. He'll be joining us in the second hour. I think that's the first question to get to with Greg Cook, don't you think?
100%. Man, you were a part of some good teams back in the day. You played under Frank Broyles. What do you think he'd think about it, number one? And what do you think about what's happened with this football program?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and look, Arkansas State has these 7, 8, 9 win seasons while they are losing to Alabama, losing to Nebraska, losing to Auburn. I mean, they've been dominant in the Sun Belt Conference. They have won under Blake Anderson 31 of 40 conference games and are always in the Sun Belt hunt. Of course, Arkansas is getting, you know, some of their wins against competition that you would classify as cupcake, and maybe it is the same level that Arkansas State plays at. And I want to apologize to Robert in Fort Smith, who's been holding for a while. Robert, with us right now on the Cherokee Casino Hotline. Robert, it was good to meet you the other day at Hardee's. How are you?
Oh, it's nice to meet you two guys. But real quick, I went to Arkansas State. I was there with Coach Lace back in the late 80s. I don't really care one way or the other who's better, who's not. But how you fix this is win games. Arkansas wins games. They won't get the bad publicity that they're getting, and we're not going to get any respect. Even Chad Morris has said that, until we win games. Win games, all this goes away. I mean, what do y'all think?
100%.
It really is as simple as that. And, you know, I mean, if you really care about being on this list very much, you know, there are plenty of states out there that only have one true Division I football team, whether it's FBS or FCS, like Wyoming, like Nebraska. You know, I mean, even Vermont and Alaska don't have college football teams, so they don't even get written about. I guess at least there's competition in the state, because something would come out in a sort of a snotty way, one way or the other. You know, what do you think about where Arkansas stands against Arkansas State? Let us know on the Cherokee Casino Hotline, 877-377-6963 for your reactions. That's for voice or text. You heard us say Greg Cook joining us at the bottom of hour number 2. That should be a fun talk. Arkansas Sports Hall of Famer, recently named one of the top 100 all-time Green Bay Packers. So should have a pretty wide-ranging conversation with him. Also, we've got on a Tuesday, Get Off My Lawn at the top of the second hour, and we appreciate you tuning in today. Don't forget that if you're looking for a new RV, it's Breeden RV and Motorsports. They have upfront and no-hassle pricing. You're going to love it. Every single RV is heavily discounted the moment it hits the lot, and that means you're guaranteed to get the best price around. Breeden RV, also the only dealership that offers maintenance for life at no extra charge on your new travel trailer, fifth wheel, or motorhome. So come see Breeden RV today on Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma, or just go to BreedenRV.com. We'll come back on a Tuesday, halftime, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson. Follow them on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP and at Tye Sports Radio. It's Southern Tire Mart Free Brake Inspection Tuesday. This is the Morning Rush.
You're also trying to fit a little bit of a square peg in a round hole, and it's a lot more that way last year. It's better this year, but you had players that weren't recruited, weren't in shape for, weren't designed to play his kind of offensive football. That square peg's a little more of a round peg going into the round hole. So that's also part of last year why you were limited on what you could do.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9, only on ESPN 95.3. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
What's up, everybody? This is John Neighbors of The Morning Rush coming to you live from Hardee's here at 1820 Phoenix Avenue, where we are doing our final third-pound thick burger eating competition qualifier for the 2019 season. If you come on out to 1820 Phoenix Avenue, eat a thick burger in 90 seconds or less, you get to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime to watch the Chiefs take on the Chargers December 29th in Kansas City this year. While you're at it, you can also check out their Charbroiled Double Deals for only $2.49 and get your choice of the Hardee's Classic, the Bacon Cheddar Double, or the Double Cheese. You can also try their Garlic Thick Burger, available only for a limited time. This is our last qualifying match here at Hardee's, and so we have a bunch of qualifiers, but we still have one spot left. You have to take advantage of it today, folks, because you may not get another opportunity. So come on by Hardee's at 1820 Phoenix Avenue here in Fort Smith. Eat a thick burger in 90 seconds or less, and you are qualified for the football trip of a lifetime.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, where the summer sales drive is in full swing. First, we want to thank everyone who shopped with us in the last couple of months. We appreciate your business. If you haven't been in yet, there's still time. Now through Labor Day, you can save like never before on a great selection of Rath Road Ready premium pre-owned vehicles. Like the special purchase 18 Hyundai Elantra SELs, just $13,993 or zero down and payments as low as $221 a month while they last. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. Buy 3, get 1 free on all tires, free AC checks, and 10% off all AC work. Make this a great time to get your car ready for summer vacation or back to school. Plus, there's still time to register for a showroom full of free prizes, as well as a grand prize trip to Big Cedar Lodge. Don't miss out on the fun and savings during the summer sales drive at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
No purchase necessary. Zero down payment with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Have you been looking for your next place to call home and just haven't found the right one? Then it's time to check out the properties at Trinity Multifamily. With a variety of apartments, duplexes, townhomes, and houses, there is surely one to fit your needs. Whether it's in the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, or Central Arkansas that you are looking at, they have you covered. Give them a call today. Trinity Multifamily, 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Looking for a high-quality and affordable vehicle? Hertz Car Sales offers a wide selection of high-quality cars, SUVs, or trucks. Amazing customer services with affordable prices on every car. With inventory arriving daily, why not make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard or give them a call at 783-1722. You can also check them out on the web at buyfromhertz.com. Trade-ins are always welcome, so stop by to Hertz Car Sales today. You'll be glad you did.
Do you love crab legs? Like you could eat your weight in crab legs? Kind of love them? Then get to the Catfish Kitchen in Van Buren every Tuesday night for all you can eat crab legs from 4 till 8. All the meaty, delicious crab legs you can hold. Plus all the fixins like coleslaw, beans, and the best hush puppies. Plus your drink, dessert, and ice cream are all included. It's only $44.95. That's all you can eat crab legs every Tuesday night from 4 till 8 at Catfish Kitchen, 727 Fayetteville Road at the top of Logtown Hill, across from the police station in Van Buren.
Attention, please! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, offering smart looks for back to school and serving your community daily. Supercuts, we're super in style. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Whaley. Wow. Walks into the end zone. And I mean walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Razorbacks.
230 Division I athletics programs had their finances combed through by USA Today. That was from the 2017-2018 college athletic season. And they were able to find out here that Arkansas ranked 23rd in total revenue. The Razorback Athletic Department that year, $130,126 and $110. Had an operating profit of a little bit over, looks like $30,000. And they do this without getting a single cent from the university. One of a few more handfuls of schools that actually are able to do that. Of course, a lot of those schools are inside the SEC. But Texas, it would be no surprise there at the very top, $219,402,579 of total revenue, ranking first. So we get to money every once in a while on this show, and that's because really, I mean, these are sometimes it just feels like we talk about it. It's got a little bit of a professional feel to it when you're talking revenue, when you're talking profit, when you're talking expenses. I know we're speaking about, in a lot of cases, almost like public things that people feel that belong to them. But
I need the Tom Cruise clip from not Risky Business. What's the Tom Cruise movie when he's an agent? And I can't. It's on the tip of my tongue. Jerry Maguire. Yeah, Jerry. I need the show me the money clip on our B-bar right now.
Right. Yeah, you do, because there's a lot of money to be shown, especially in the Southeastern Conference, where none of the schools ranked any lower than 35th in revenue. That was Mississippi State that brought up the rear in the SEC. Arkansas, 23rd overall in the country, again, in total revenue. That was for the 2017-2018 season. And again, that was from USA Today. Go ahead, Tye.
Well, I was going to say one of the statistics that stood out to me, Phil, was and I added this to it, is the 2013, the two public schools that they took. And then again, the list that Phil has been reading off from USA Today is only public schools. My dad texted me this morning and asked her what Baylor's finances were, and it's not on there because it's private. But the fact that you've increased, Phil, $140 million. There was only two schools back in 2013, and that's gone all the way up to 35. Is just, it's unbelievable, the fact that how much money these schools are making, and a big part of that is these television networks. And I'm kind of curious to see how the ACC network does in its debt this year, if it's going to in its depth this year, because it's the SEC network. I feel like has been the mainstay, because of how passionate the SEC fans are about their football and other sports. But these other networks have kind of been hit or miss, like the Pac-12 network and stuff. So kind of curious on that.
Interesting. Arkansas, one of 12 schools that received no money from the university and actually transfer money to the university from their profits, which is actually counted as an expense. The other schools that get no money allocated from the university for anything involving athletics are Oklahoma, Texas, Nebraska, Ohio State, Penn State, Purdue. Cal is the only Pac-12 school that doesn't receive money from the university. It's all private donations for the Bears. Then in the SEC, Arkansas, Kentucky, LSU, South Carolina, and Texas A&M. Alabama receives a little more than $2.6 million from the 2017-2018 season from the university. Florida received a little over $2.3 million. Mizzou, a little over $1 million. So, you kind of wonder what exactly that's going towards. These schools that don't take any money from the university, you can wear that as a badge of honor, really, but that's strictly from money brought in from contracts like the IMG Learfield marketing contract, from licensing fees, from private donations, and really this is what the Razorback Foundation is built for.
And this goes back to the conversation we had a few months back concerning the Forbes article and where Arkansas was on that list. The fact that Arkansas is still relatively profitable and still bring a good amount of revenue in, which is obviously great for the Arkansas Athletics Department, but it shows, despite having a crappy football team this stretch, you've still managed to be financially successful. And then to that point, it's not going to last forever. Like, if you keep sucking in football, the finances and stuff, I'm not going to say are going to go away completely, but they're not going to be as lucrative as they might be if you started winning games. They were 19 last year. They're 23 now, so you didn't take too much of a step back, but you still took a little bit. You got to start winning. And, again, this doesn't all need to be placed at the foot of Chad Morris. He's not the 100% to be blaming what happened last season, but he's here now. He's taken on that role, and his staff and all that's kind of encompassing on that. If you want to make money, the football team has to win games. That's the bottom line, period. You're in the SEC, you're in the South. Football's key in here, Phil.
And an interesting other things you can just glean from looking on this list. The other 4 Division I athletic programs in the state of Arkansas, Arkansas State, UCA, UALR, and UAPB, and again, this is 2017-2018, generated a total between these 4 schools of around $75 million total revenue. That is dwarfed by Arkansas alone at $126,110. So I know these are all Division I athletic programs, but it's essentially like saying, teams that are Major League Baseball are the same as single A teams, and that's just a fact. It's a different playing level on so many ways. The sort of athlete that's there, the resources that they have at their behest, the money that each university essentially gives to these athletic departments in the form of student fees and other things, and just straight up, I honestly don't know how these money is allocated, but some of it's just got to be flat out tax money. UCA, 73% of their budget came from the university. UALR, 71% of the budget came from the university. UAPB, 66% came from the budget. Arkansas State, 31%. So nobody else other than Arkansas had anything any lower than about 31% of their operating budget given by the university. This is how universities used to do athletics, 1 through 218 or whatever. Arkansas right there at 0 with just 11 other schools. This is a different playing field. The SEC, and it's not just the SEC, it's the SEC, it's the Big Ten. These 2 conferences have separated themselves from everybody else. You've got essentially 2 major leagues. The ACC, the Big 12, we can throw them in there too. The Pac-12, maybe a little bit. But you have a major league of college sports, and then you have the minor leagues of college sports, and they're not Division II. They are not Division II.
Tommy was talking about it on the Morning Rush. He had an interview along with Ruskin with Mike Slive the late Mike Slive a couple years back, and he asked him about the idea of separating leagues, not just leagues, but divisions and who you play on, like from the Power 5. And I can't remember 100% the exact question, but he said Mike Slive just kind of looked at him weird, and I think he said he had a tumor growing out of his head at the moment or something.
Why would we screw up something that works for us so well?
Exactly.
Essentially.
But you think about Arkansas is, according to the Portland Tribune, paying Portland State, I think $460. I know it's slightly less than $500,000 to come play Arkansas. The line, we'll go over that in a bit, but Arkansas is projected to smash that team, and for good reason. Their athletes are better, their facilities are better, their coaching is better. Every aspect of the Arkansas football program is better than the Portland State team, the Vikings. I remember their mascot, the Vikings. And so
that was going to be a question I had for you in the last segment here. I was going to quiz you.
Oh, really? Yeah. So that being said, it's going to be a massacre in Fayetteville, regardless if it's 28 points or 40 points. That game's not going to be close, and you wonder if the Vikings can take the beating that they're going to get from an injury standpoint, and just because how much stronger and faster and more physical Arkansas is. And people are hearing, well, you're just bragging about Arkansas. I'm just comparing the 2 teams and how different they are. And I know sometimes, you think about LSU, and Troy's not an FCS team, but LSU, if you remember, had to pay them slightly less than $1 million back in 2017 for homecoming and got beat by Neil Brown's squad. So, and Arkansas knows that feeling all too well. That's, again, not an FCS team, but the FCS team they did lose to in their history is the Citadel. I don't know how much they paid for that in 1992, but you got to pay these teams to come play because they know they're going to get slapped around a little bit.
What was the dollar figure, the guarantee for Portland State, if you can remember that?
I think it's either $465 or $445. I remember that correctly. So, for what, 3.5 hours of game time? What does that equate to for a football team?
You want me to do a per hour rate here for this team coming in?
And that's like $100 and is that, 120 something?
Essentially, you're talking about a school now. Again, this is according to the USAA report. Portland State 2017-2018 operated on a full athletic budget of just over $14 million. So you're getting quite a chunk there by almost getting $500,000 for traveling from Portland to Fayetteville to lose a football game. And that's going to mean jobs. That's going to mean resources that Portland State wouldn't have any other way to get.
Yeah, I'm finding it on the Arkansas Online article. I'm trying to find the figure. I can't seem to get to. Yeah, but it's in that $400-something million range. But I remember reading that last night. And that's crazy how much they're getting. So it's $550. Excuse me. I need to correct myself. It's $550,000 according to the Portland Tribune. This is back in 2016, so the number could have changed since then. But $550,000. That's a good chunk of change, Phil, for a couple hours of football.
They're getting 2.5% of their operating budget from that one game for the entire athletic department. And this is something to think about. If we, sooner or later, FBS teams are not going to be scheduling FCS teams. I think you're going to get to that in the future. That will hurt these FCS not just the football programs, it'll hurt the schools overall.
I can't remember who the first one to say this was. It's probably a college football writer, but the idea of playing some of these FCS programs in the spring game, because you really don't gain a lot out of playing the type of spring game they want, and this would be a way to get more fans in the stand, get more interaction, get more of I say more of competition, but you think about it, Phil, how set up these games are. Like, the coaches want them to go a certain way, and that's how they go. They hurt a certain team, they help a certain team, and that's just not fun for fans to watch. And I'm not saying bringing in an FCS program is going to pull in 60+ thousand in Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium, but I think it would be a lot more attractive to Arkansas football fans if they brought in an FCS team. And I'm not speaking to just Arkansas football fans, but college football fans in general, if they were to bring in FCS teams to match up for these guys in spring games.
Hey, let's step aside for a break in a moment. Hey, I heard John Neighbors is over at our Hardee's, Ty. That one on Phoenix Avenue, that's our Hardee's. What's John Neighbors doing there?
Turn my mic off. John's going to be over there from 12 to 2 today. It's the last Hardee's Thick Burger qualifier. Again, we got the 15th annual Hardee's Thick Burger Challenge. That is going to be this Saturday at the Phoenix location. Get there about 1 o'clock. We got the high school competition, and then we got the big dogs competing after that. It's going to be a great event. Phil, I know you've seen this. You haven't been to it. It is wild, man. But again, if you want to get qualified for the Monday night football tickets, Chiefs, Chargers, the football trip of a lifetime, go see John today. It's the 1820 Phoenix Avenue location, Hardee's. Eat a thick burger, 90 seconds or less, and you're in to go for the championship, which again this Saturday at the Phoenix location. You got to come take advantage. Again, this is the last day to qualify for the Hardee's Thick Burger Challenge.
It might be something to watch, but Ty, I think I'm a little bit scarred after my utter failure of last Friday attempting to do this and just couldn't even. It's like I got mustard, mayo, and ketchup all over my face without even really trying.
I'm sorry, buddy.
I think I'm done watching people crush thick burgers in 90 seconds or less because I couldn't do that in about 5 minutes or less. I can, however, step aside for a break. We'll come back with more Razorback talk on Halftime, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com.
The best midday show in the Natty State. You're listening to Halftime. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
What's up, everybody? This is John Neighbors of The Morning Rush coming to you live from Hardee's here in Fort Smith at 1820 Phoenix Avenue, where we're doing another third-pound thick burger eating competition qualifier where you have to come on out and eat a thick burger 90 seconds or less so you can qualify for the football trip of a lifetime to watch the Chiefs and Chargers play each other in Kansas City December 29th of this football season. Listen, folks, we've already had 2 people walk in, and both of them have failed. It's not an easy, so we got to make sure that we get the best of the best to come in here and try to qualify. When you're coming into Hardee's, though, be sure to check out one of the Charbroiled Double Deals for only $2.49 and get your choice of the Hardee's Classic, the Bacon Cheddar Double, or the Double Cheese. You can also try the Garlic Bread Thick Burger, available for a limited time as well. We're going to be out here until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Again, this is your last chance to qualify. We only have one more spot for a qualifier. It could be you, but you got to come out to Hardee's at 1820 Phoenix Avenue, eat a thick burger 90 seconds or less, and you are in the qualifier for the football trip of a lifetime.
Football season is here at Crabtree RV in Alma. We make tailgating with your favorite team very affordable, with discounts up to $15,000 off new fifth wheels and $10,000 off new travel trailers. Check out deals like the new Catalina with patio for as low as $249 a month. Browse the area's largest indoor showroom and explore the new 2020 styles from Grand Design and Coachman Freedom Express. That's only at Crabtree RV in Alma, where your family's dreams come true.
This Coors Light is the perfect temperature. How can I tell just based on the sound? I can't. But I can see that the mountain on the can is blue. And when the mountain is blue, your Coors Light is perfectly cold. Coors Light is cold lagered for a crisper taste, cold filtered for brightness and clarity, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. Doesn't that sound good? Coors Light, as cold as the Rockies, available down the street. 2019 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Guys, nobody wants to paint, but to stay on the good side's better half, there's no choice. 5 Star Painting of Fort Smith is a professional company that does residential and commercial painting. They do it all: interior, exterior, refinishing cabinets, fences, and decks, even some light carpentry. From the time you call for your free estimate to the attention they give to you in detail, you will be satisfied. It's guaranteed, and 5 Star Painting of Fort Smith owner Sean Weidman has been in the area for years, so you know it's all about a great reputation. Make mama happy and everyone's happy. 5 Star Painting of Fort Smith, licensed, insured, and bonded for trust. Go to 5starpainting.com/Fort Smith and get that honeydew done.
They don't build cars like they used to, and they don't repair them like they used to either. Today's vehicles contain advanced lightweight materials and safety features like crumple zones and airbags that help protect your family. Repairing them properly after a collision requires up-to-date training. Evans Body Shop has it. We're among only 10% of shops to meet the industry's highest training standards as a gold-class business. When you pick a collision repair shop, make the smart choice for your family's safety. Choose gold-class trained repair professionals.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Takes it on the hop at the 9. He's got a seam. Then planted as he got out to the 28-yard line. Dallas Washington picked him up and crushed him.
Welcome back inside our ESPN Arkansas studios. Phil Elson, Tye Richardson. You, if you want to get with us, Cherokee Casino hotline is 877-377-6963. Give us a call, give us a text, and we appreciate your ears today. We'd mentioned yesterday about Giovanni LaFrance going into the transfer portal. It was a pretty quick trip through the portal, which I guess it's like a black hole for some. You know, some get stuck in there and never find their way out. Some just stick their head into the transfer portal and are sucked all the way through to another university. And I think that's what happened to Giovanni LaFrance, who announces today he is heading to Nicholls State. He's going to be a colonel.
A colonel?
They're the Colonels.
How about
if
that?
I remember correctly. I did a football broadcast at Nicholls State. A Henderson broadcast, Division II versus Division I tie. Henderson won the game, and the Nicholls State coach retired after the game was over.
How about that?
Yeah.
So they came in 2014 to Fayetteville, maybe, if I remember that correctly.
Yes.
They got absolutely smashed by Arkansas. But I think this kind of what this shows, and I guess I'll bring up the two quarterbacks, particularly with Tye Story going to Western Kentucky, with Cole Kelly going to Southeastern Louisiana State. It's not like these guys were highly coveted, highly recruited after they were trying to leave Arkansas. Like, end of the day, there was a stat that Saturday Down South put out, and it's from 24/7 Sports. I'm trying to find the article, but Arkansas, and I don't know if they included LaFrance in this statistic, but from like October of last year to August 11th or something, Arkansas had the most transfer portal guys, 23.
But a very low percentage of them were classified as top-level talent.
Correct. And the percentage, Arkansas was high, is 23, and I think Auburn was the second highest at 13. But the stat that Phil's referring to, only like 3 of those players were 4 and 5 stars, and that percentage ranked at the very bottom of the SEC.
Still, but what does that necessarily mean? That's rankings coming out of high school into college. When, I mean, you look at 2 players that you lost that could have helped you this year, potentially at a high level at wide receiver, LaMichael Petway, Mike Woods. You know, right there, I don't know how they were classified.
Nance,
sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. I don't know if you saw some Missouri staffer put out today. He put out like something about Clemson great quarterback Clemson, great wide receiver Nance from Arkansas, blah, blah, blah. But
Jonathan Nance. If I said Mike Woods, I don't know why I made my...
You're good. So, Nance at Missouri, Petway at Iowa State. Those are two guys you probably would like to have this next year, except that kind of amps up the process of getting these young guys ready, so it's a catch-22 theme there. But what that speaks to is what former Arkansas quarterback Matt Jones has referenced several times on this program. There wasn't any talent up there, period. Like, Bielema had a good recruiting class, I believe, his first year, and then nosedive. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Chad Morris is just going to keep it up with top recruiting classes. I can't tell you that because I can't project in the future. But I'll tell you what, he's putting way more emphasis on than his predecessor did. And the name of the game right now in college football is recruiting. And I know that there's still a lot to be said about what happens with Chad Morris's tenure here at Arkansas. But, Phil, at least he's emphasizing something that you absolutely have to do at Arkansas, period. And these guys that have been lost, they're trying to cycle them out. Yes, there are probably some guys you wish you still had on campus, but it's not like you just had immense tons of talent leave the state. You got to look at it like that. And I guess that's the positive you can look at. I know you've had a lot of guys transfers, leave the program and whatnot, but it's not like you lost a ton of studs, a lot of Jimmies and Joes that have exited Arkansas football.
Yeah, and we get an unnamed text here saying, because your team is mainly 3 stars. And again, there's truth to this. There's absolute truth to that. And this probably also leads into another idea of that ESPN has this computer that is picking Arkansas to lose every conference game at the start of the year. They do have them winning all of the non-conference games, but the FPI, Football Power Index, does not give Arkansas very good chances to win any game in the SEC this year.
No
even the
credit.
Ole Miss game.
Even
the Ole Miss game, the one that we've circled as the most winnable game, albeit on the road. They give Arkansas 26.6% chance to win on the road in Oxford. And that's the best percentage chance that Arkansas's got to win, according to the ESPN computer, out of any of the 8 games in the SEC.
And I wanted to originally put this in Get Off My Lawn, but this was a segment that I wanted to touch on a little more. I think that Arkansas is much more deserving of a 26.6% chance to go into Oxford and win that football game.
Hey, at least they're saying there's a chance, but they are saying there's a 2.5% chance to beat Alabama.
That's way too high. Way too high. I mean,
you meant 0.025%.
Wait, yeah, that needs to be
0.0025.
That's way too high. I mean, you look at Alabama. I want you to find me a position group, a statistic, something to show that Arkansas is better in a category than that football team.
Field goal kicker, Connor Limpert. There you go.
That's, you know what? That might be the
if it comes down to field goals at the end, I think Arkansas's got a really good shot.
That might be the lone one. The only thing that you got on Nick Saban's football team, which
you asked for a position. There you go.
Nope,
long snapper.
You're
Probably
right.
the better long snapper.
Lindsey's a decent holder. I can't tell you the long snapper's name. That's not on the top of my head, but I know Jack Lindsey's a holder. They're glad to have him back, and you got your core long snapper and the field goal snapper was there last year as well. So you got that. So yeah, I guess the kicking, and you can't even talk about like the entire kicking game, but the field goal kicking aspect of that, because they couldn't put it in the end zone last year.
Again, you asked for an opinion. You asked for a position. I gave you a position.
No, you're right.
All I have.
You got anything else? Bueller?
That is about it. 14.5% chance to beat Auburn, 25.4% chance to win at Kentucky, a little under 13% chance to beat A&M, got 22% against Mississippi State, 5.8% against LSU, and even Missouri. Arkansas getting just over a 25% chance. Hey, you'll have a 100% chance of finding a great deal and a great car at Rhodes Chevrolet. You've been trusting them for over 80 years. Rhodes is dependable in car buying and car owning. And when you walk into that showroom the very first time, you'll be treated just like family. As part of the family-owned dealership and service department that has served the River Valley for over 8 decades. Find your next dependable vehicle today at Rhodes Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren, or at RhodesChevy.com. Rhodes Chevrolet, dependable since 1934. We'll come back to wrap up the first hour of halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
The best midday show in the Natty State. You're listening to Halftime. It's Southern Tire Mart Free Brake Inspection Tuesday.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
Introducing the limited edition Budweiser Discovery Reserve, brewed to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. An American red lager with a light hoppy aroma, followed by a hint of toffee and a crisp finish. Inspired by our archival recipe from the time of the Apollo missions. Enjoy responsibly. 2019 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Discovery Reserve American Red Lager, Ale in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Painting your ceiling but afraid of the mess? Hurry to Metters Lumber True Value for a gallon of bright white Easy Care ceiling paint for only $12.99. This non-splatter, quick-dry formula is water-based acrylic, so it's less messy and cleans up easily with soap and water. It also comes with a 15-year warranty. Pick up this great bargain of the month along with brushes, ladders, tarps, and other accessories to make your painting project go smoothly while supplies last. Have questions? Just ask the painting experts at Metters Lumber True Value.
True Grit Running Company is where perseverance meets passion. Whether you're training for your next marathon or just comfortable shoes to keep up with your kids, we have the gear to help you reach your goals. With our slow motion gait analysis and our extensive product knowledge, we have the right pair of shoes for you. We also carry apparel, nutrition, hydration accessories, injury prevention gear, and recovery products. We offer classes, workshops, and group runs. Lace up, show up, and get your grit on. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, the Xerox authorized agency and dealer in the River Valley. The 29 new models of Xerox business printers and copiers represent a quantum leap forward in office technology. They are designed for the way we work today, safely and securely. They're powered by Xerox Connect Key technology. They're innovative and affordable with both black and white and color devices available. For more information, give Dixie Digital a call at 783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing Xerox document innovations to the River Valley.
I'm Lisa Hinton, owner of Champ Hinton Enterprises. For nearly 50 years, the Champ Hinton name has stood for one thing: selling quality cars in a different way. Taking the mumbo jumbo out of the process and making customers happy. All these years and tens of thousands of cars later, we're still here, doing business the way Champ Hinton taught us. Selling to generations of families who've become part of our family. Champ Hinton Enterprises, the area's premier used car dealer. Take the Arcoma exit off I-540 or go online at champhinton.com.
It's the Rock and Roll Endless Pools event going on right now at Burton Pools and Spas in Fort Smith and in Springdale. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. If you've seen them on TV and always wondered about an endless pool, now is the time during the Rock and Roll event through September 2nd. Get a free upgrade with free music and resistance bands with the purchase of an endless pool fitness system or swim cross exercise system at Burton Pools and Spas. This is a $1,229 retail value. Check it out for yourself. The endless pools, if you want to improve your fitness, relieve pressure in your body, melt away the stress of daily life, an endless pool can be perfect for you, and it's a great choice. See the full line of endless pools for yourself at Burton Pools and Spas during the Rock and Roll event, 6121 Zero Street in Fort Smith, and just off I-49 at the 412 exit in Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com. It's the Endless Pools Rock and Roll event, now through Labor Day at Burton Pools and Spas in Fort Smith and in Springdale.
Attention, please! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, offering smart looks for back to school and serving your community daily. Supercuts, we're super in style. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
And he's on in place of the injured Ryan Mallett, and he has been brilliant. 12 of 13. That one's caught. Touchdown. Whoa, on a rope.
Oh, my goodness.
Joe Adams.
There's not a backup in the country that can throw a ball like that.
All right, so Arkansas is at a 98% chance, according to ESPN Football Power. What is it? Football Power Index? Football Percentage Index? The P means various things on ESPN sometimes. All right, so they're picking Arkansas, 98% chance to beat Portland State. What do you got? Is this a 5dimes.com? Is that the website you pulled up that has Arkansas listed at a 26.5-point favorite on a way too early Vegas line for opening day? The line started at 24.5 points. 26.5 points against a team that lost to Nevada 72-19 and lost to Oregon 62-14 last year.
I'm telling you, man, hammer the over. This team was outside the top 100 in scoring defense. You beat Eastern Illinois by 35 last year, and that was with Ty Story and Cole Kelly. It started at 24.5. If you can get on 5 dimes and do it, I would hammer them covering on this one. Not the over, covering on this one, Phil.
Yeah, I don't know what the over-under would be. We don't have that just yet, but 26.5 points? I'd say go over that. Yep. It's FCS. I mean, what do you expect? We do expect the second hour of halftime, so stick around on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
What's up, everybody? This is John Neighbors of The Morning Rush coming to you live from Hardee's here in Fort Smith at 1820 Phoenix Avenue, where we're doing our final qualifier for the football trip of a lifetime, where you have to come out to Hardee's, eat a third-pound thick burger in 90 seconds or less, and you can get qualified for a chance to win the ultimate prize of seeing the Chiefs and Chargers play each other in Kansas City this football season on December 29th. You can also check out Hardee's with their Charbroiled Double Deals for only $2.49, which you get your choice of the Hardee's Classic, the Bacon Cheddar Double, or the double cheese. You can also try their garlic bread thick burger, available for a limited time only. We're going to be out here till 2 o'clock this afternoon, folks. We've had some people try out. Some people have qualified, some people have not. But today is going to be your last chance. So if you want to get involved in the competition, if you want to try your hand, try your luck, come on out to the Hardee's here in Fort Smith at 1820 Phoenix Avenue. Eat a third-pound thick burger in 90 seconds or less, and you are qualified. So come on out and don't miss your chance.
For over 80 years, Rhodes Chevrolet has been a name you can trust. Rhodes has always been dependable in the car buying and car owning experience. From the first time you walk into our showroom, you're treated like family. Part of the family-owned dealership and service department that has served Crawford County for over 8 decades. Find your next dependable vehicle today at 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren or at RhodesChevy.com. Find new Rhodes at Rhodes Chevrolet. Dependable since 1934.
OG&E is offering home energy efficiency upgrades for a limited group of Arkansas customers, all for free. OG&E's weatherization program improves your comfort and reduces your energy bills by giving you everything from new attic insulation, caulking, sealing air leaks, even energy-saving LED bulbs and more. That's thousands of dollars in free home improvements, but only a limited number of OG&E customers can qualify. Visit OGE.com/weatherization now.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Clear and sticky out there tonight. An overnight low will drop down into the mid-70s. We should see a whole lot of sunshine on Tuesday with a few splash or dash showers. The storms are high will be into the upper 80s north, mid to upper 90s south. A few hit-or-miss showers of storms back in the picture for Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by Mosquito Joe. Don't let mosquitoes ruin your outside fun this year. Call Mosquito Joe at 479-202-9960 to keep your yard mosquito-free. Or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
Is on. Arkansas football begins in 18 days.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
You
want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson.
You do a fantastic job on the radio. There's no one else in this league I'd rather listen to, so keep up the good work.
And Tye Richardson.
Guys do a good job, and I listen to you guys.
2 more quarters, and after that, most of you will never play this game again.
D-Mac, hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown. How
It's almost halftime.
And welcome back into the second hour here on Halftime on a steamy Tuesday across the Natural State. Phil Elson with you along with Tye Richardson in the ESPN Arkansas studios. Getting with us on the Cherokee Casino hotline, 877-377-6963. Is Arkansas State the better college football program in the Natural State, according to Barrett Salee? Let us know what you think. We did get an interesting text, though, just a moment ago during the break. It's from Mike in Van Buren, and he's referencing our talk about Arkansas's 98% chance to beat Portland State, and we went through the list that ESPN Football Power Index lists the percentage of a chance to win any game you're playing this year. The lowest percentage for Arkansas to win at Alabama. That's on the 26th of October, given a 2.5% chance to win. And Mike in Van Buren points out that means Arkansas has as much of a chance to win against Alabama as Portland State has to win against Arkansas. He rightly points this out. I give Mike all the credit. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I should have come up with 2 and 98 together, because that's pretty much what he was looking at.
I wonder what the odds would be Vegas-wise if you compare the two. Like, as an Arkansas fan, what would you be more likely to bet on? Beating Alabama or Portland State beating you? I think because of the pessimistic side of fans lately, because of what happened last year, I would think that fans would be more likely to put money on the Portland State beating Arkansas, but that's an actually good question. What game could be closer? What game would be more fun to watch? What game would be more high scoring? The fact that the FPI rankings, again, the Football Power Index from ESPN, are so similar, it's just astounding, and that shows you where you are as a football program right now. And where Alabama is, obviously, too.
It's more about where Alabama is. And, the Arkansas versus Portland State thing is that, Portland State's a decent FCS team. They go 0-2 against FBS teams last year. That means they went 4-5 against FCS teams. Not good, not terrible. It's, a little bit less than mediocre. So that's more about, FCS versus SEC than anything else. Arkansas versus Alabama is just a whole other thing. But then again, when a computer that's crunching these numbers together comes up with virtually the same chance, it's not a head scratcher. It's more of a shaking your head. It's an SMH moment.
Is it even shaking your head as much as just dropping your head, like just
hanging your head?
Yeah, just hanging your head. Just so dismal. The outlook on so many people's lives, because as well as I do, being in the state, there's so many people that their mood is hinged on how Arkansas football is. And it's just how it's the way of the world, man. It's not just in this state; it's in so many states across the country, particularly in the South, because there's so much pride and joy in their beloved college or beloved state schools football programs. So it's one of those things when you look at that statistic, when you look at that percentage as an Arkansas fan, you don't even shake your head; you just drop it because you're ashamed.
And you acknowledge the truth of the moment.
Yep.
You acknowledge the truth of the statistics that the computer is crunching. Hopefully next year and look, they'll adjust these percentages as the season goes on. Maybe after 5 or 6 games, the computer realizes that there's better than a 2.5% chance for Arkansas to win in Tuscaloosa. Maybe like 2.6%. A little bit better.
And what's funny is at first glance, most Arkansas fans would look and say, "We got that high a percentage to beat Alabama? That's way too high, Phil. No. Drop us down a little bit." So that's where you're at right now. It's tough.
I wonder what Eddie thinks about that. Eddie is in Clarksville. He has called us for a second straight day. Eddie, when you hear that the ESPN computer gives Arkansas as much of a chance to win at Alabama as the same computer gives Portland State to win at Arkansas, what does that do to the train whistle that you're building?
Doesn't change it a bit, sir. Let me tell you something. Circumstances and every year is different. And I realize as a football program, the last 6 years, and our program has been, something to blow the whistle about. As I said in the closing moments, sir, last year against North Texas, tears began to roll down my face. As I looked stared in the face at the end of a 2-10 season, by the way, the most losing season we've ever had as a program. I knew we had hit rock bottom. But never, as a Hawk fan, will I ever jump off the board of the Hawk train, because just like I said, sir, every year is different. But now I'm excited. More so, sir, than I've ever. I've been through all the coaches, sir, since Frank Broyles. From Frank Broyles up to date. And I'm excited to tell this fan base about a man I refer to as a good shepherd. And that's Coach Morris. Certain he has a recipe. Tye touched on it. What does it take to bring the Hawk train out of the rut? It takes a good shepherd. It takes a recruiter. It takes a man to understand, one, you got to have a vision. Secondly, you got to have a dream, and you got to instill it in your players. And one more thing, you've got to understand the importance to Texas and Tennessee to a program. You can go get mobile, athletic players that can compete on the field, and that's exactly what Coach Morris is doing. You'll see a totally different outlook this season as he's gutted our program. One, not only is he gutted our program, he's putting the philosophy in players. Every snap matters. Every play matters. Every practice matters. I mean, it's just shivers on my back because this man has a vision. And when we step out on that field, exactly 18 days and a little less than 2 hours, this old boy is excited because I'm going again for Hog Delight, because I'm so thankful that we have a man, Coach Morris, a good shepherd on our program, that's filling the Hawk train with recruits. Look what he's doing. I'm not saying this class in 20 is going to be as good as the last one, but I bet you one thing, he's going to get players that can compete. And if you have players that can compete on the field, you can compete for an SEC. You don't have to have the best classes, but you got to have players that have the want-to, that want to play for the U of A. Another thing, you got to build a perimeter around the state. Keep our recruits at home, and you're going to be in good shape in the future. So for the fan base, 18 days, a little less than 2 hours, the resurrection in our program begins. And so it starts with Portland State, and then we're going to take the Hawk train. And what we're going to do, I have no doubt, we'll be picked to lose against Oxford. But on a Saturday night, I'm bringing the bells again in the whistle to Oxford. And we're going to beat them in front of a nationally televised audience. And we're bringing the Hawk train back. And we're going to finish it up with an X2 win. And we're headed in at Arlington with a head of steam, 4-0. I'll see you come August 31st. Thank you for taking my call.
You got it, Eddie. A nice measured phone call there. He built up the drama. He had himself fired up by the end of it. I wanted to ask Eddie a question, but I learned my lesson yesterday. You ask Eddie a question, you get another 2 minutes. So my question would be, Tye, for you. You can answer for Eddie, okay? You want to role play here for a moment before we do get off my lawn?
Sure thing, buddy.
So he referenced the tears that fell from his eyes after the loss to North Texas. Do you think Eddie from Clarksville is I need a Kleenex to wipe my tears, or is he just wiped them off his face with the back of his hand, or does he drink his own tears to see what they taste like?
I think wipe them off with his hand. I think that's probably where he falls in that category.
For me, the sadness, when it comes out so fast, it's the back of the palm. I've never tried to drink my own tears, but I think a loss to North Texas would probably make me do that. A loss to Portland State, probably want to gouge your eyes out and see what they taste like.
Ugh. Yeah, don't even mention that big guy. That's fans don't even want to imagine what that would be like.
Well, a loss to Portland State would taste the same. All right, let's get into it. Get off my lawn.
Did you hear me? I said get off my lawn now.
Old man, my ass.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
You're on Facebook, huh?
Well, I've been trying to figure it out. I joined about 10 minutes ago.
Well, better late than never.
Get off my lawn.
Home runs are crazy in Major League Baseball, as we've gotten to, and I've got a thing about fake records. But before I get into that, this is the reason that I'm thinking about fake records, because of 25-year-old Aristides Aquino, rookie right-handed hitter for the Cincinnati Reds.
Has become must-see at-bats. Aristides Aquino already 2 homers.
He hits another home run here. They might put him in the Reds Hall of Fame. Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, a second player in Major League history to hit 7 home runs in the first
All right, so Aristides Aquino, he's developed a nickname called the Punisher, which I guess happens when you hit a home run that exits off your bat at 118 miles an hour. Absolutely ridiculous. This is somebody that's worth rooting for. Aquino signed at the age of 17 out of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Spent 4.5 years in rookie ball, the lowest rung of minor league baseball. Finally got up to the majors for one at-bat at the end of last year and struck out. Starts this year at AAA, hit 28 home runs, has been called up earlier this month, made his first start for the Reds August the 1st, went 0 for 6 in a couple of games, and since then, he's hit 8 home runs in his last 10 games. You just heard Tom Brenneman's call of a third homer in a game recently for Aquino. So here's what I'm getting to. He's getting the ball off his lawn over and over and over again, but MLB.com made a big deal about him setting a new record, a new Major League record of 8 home runs in his first 12 Major League games. There is no such record as home runs hit in your first 12 games. These are not records. This is pace. Home runs in a game, sure, that's a record. Home runs over the course of a month, to me, maybe it's a record. I don't know. Home runs in a season is a record. Home runs in a career is a record. Over your first 12 games, that's manufactured stuff. He's not a record holder. He's an impressive rookie who's had an incredible first 12 games. And, oh, by the way, somebody's going to find the hole in his swing, too. This hot start's not going to continue. But for those who say, a record is set over your first 12 games for doing this or that, get off my lawn.
There's the old man coming out of you. I've been waiting for it. It's been a while since I've had you do something like this, but that's definitely an old man yelling at a cloud moment right there, Phil.
Well, there's hardly any clouds where I'm living today to shout out, so I had to shout at MLB.com.
So Dan Skipper, particularly in his college days, and I remember Whitney seeing this when I was watching practice one time, that he likes to get into it with defensive linemen. It's fun. He's a big guy, 6'9", 6'10", goes at or maybe 6'8", around there. And this is from Mark Daniels, who covers the Patriots up there in Boston for the Providence Journal. He had this tweet from yesterday, and I got to give my friend of the program, Gross, that provided me this segment for Get Off My Lawn. Michael Bennett just took a swing at Dan Skipper after a drill. He hit his helmet. Skipper responded with double birds. just imagine walking away. Like, those are both two intimidating figures, both Michael Bennett and Dan Skipper. I would not want to get in a fight with either one of them.
That's a couple of grizzly bears going up against each other. That's not a fight you want to try to break up or film.
Mark Daniels added, looked like Bennett was angry with Skipper holding him during a drill where the defender needs to get around the offensive lineman to get to the running back. Skipper held Bennett up high near his neck. But I love the response for Dan Skipper. It's, you know how in Friends, when Monica ticked Ross off, he would just do the clumping of the fist together, and that was their version of flipping each other off. And Skipper's not even going to apologize for being as blunt as possible, just doing it in practice, where people are taking pictures and stuff, and he obviously doesn't care, just gives Michael Bennett the two birds. So that's kind of Bielema-esque from him, and I know that a lot of fans don't really like some of the personality traits that went along with Brett Bielema, but that kind of emulates what Brett Bielema was here at Arkansas, and I found that definitely to be a get off my lawn moment from Dan Skipper.
Okay, so I've got one that's really more jealousy than anything else. Some of the college baseball exhibitions are coming out and being announced. Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball had put out a short list of some of the college baseball scrimmages or exhibitions, I guess you could call them, that these teams will be scheduling throughout the months of mostly October. A little, I think, late September, there might be one or two, and then early November, there's also going to be some. I haven't seen anything announced for Arkansas, so I don't know who the Razorbacks are trying to schedule for a fall exhibition game, in which they're allowed to now schedule 2. But get a load of this one, Tye. November 1st, at the baseball grounds of Jacksonville, Florida, there's going to be a mini cocktail party. Florida versus Georgia. I mean, and who cares who wins this, of course? It doesn't matter at all, because they'll play a 3-game series in the regular season that's going to be a pretty good series. I mean, Georgia was top 10 last year. Florida's still they're not. They weren't in the College World Series, but this is a team under Mark O'Sullivan that's that always has a top level of talent. But this is the day before the greatest cocktail party, or the world's largest cocktail party at the Gator Bowl. So that just to me is like the perfect way to get yourself ready, or just, not even sleep if you have a night scrimmage at the AA Park next door to the football stadium. Why do you just roll up your car? You spend yourself 48 hours in the same space. You don't sleep. It sounds like a lot of fun. And I'm just jealous because there's legitimately no opponent that Arkansas could do this with. You have to be able to do it within a certain mileage in order to make it feasible economically for these teams. So I think Arkansas has looked at like Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Of course, it was Little Rock last year. But there's nobody they could do this with. LSU, it's too far, and you don't play LSU until the second to last week. Mizzou, probably too far. So I'm just jealous more than anything else that there's a mini. It's like a shot class for the world's largest cocktail party the night before the cocktail party, and I'm just jealous. So just go ahead and get off my lawn.
So I was talking to David Waters, who does stuff for Gators Breakdown down there in Florida, and he was telling me there's a lot of both Gator and Georgia fans that stay in these islands and they make their way down to the world's largest cocktail party that Saturday. It looks like they're going to have to go up a little early. I think with the Oklahoma State team that you referenced, Phil, I'm hoping, and obviously the contract's been set for the 4 games that we mentioned, the added games that they added to the schedule, 2 more Oklahoma State games that will be played, 1 in Stillwater, 1 in Fayetteville. But I was hoping that once the Texas A&M contract expires down there in Jerry World, that they put that game, Oklahoma State, as the neutral site game that they play every year down there in Jerry World, because I think Jerry Jones, a big-time Arkansas alum, has his hands in a lot of different Arkansas athletics stuff. I think he still wants a game to be played down there, and I think Oklahoma State, and again, I don't know the logistics, I don't know what would have to go into that, but I think that would be a fun game that they should have down there. And maybe with, Holiday? I know Matt Holiday's the guy that is the assistant now, but what's his
Josh
brother?
Holiday?
Josh Holiday.
Brother.
Maybe
Right.
you could get Dave and Josh to talk about doing something, because I think fans would like to go see, and I don't know if they play it in Ranger Stadium. Is Ranger Stadium next to Jerry World?
Pretty much. I mean, whatever being next door to something in Texas is,
maybe you
is
could
practically next door.
Maybe you could get a little fall ball game going there in September, where Oklahoma State played them in baseball a game or two, and then football next day. Again, that's way down the road. That's not, contract expires 2024 in A&M. But hey, I inspired that idea, so if it happens, you heard it here first.
I'm happy to give you the credit,
even though it's not going to. So Tate Martell, this was a conversation that John and Tommy had this morning that they went on a lot. But Tommy made some really good points about this kid being soft and basically being a spoiled brat when it comes to where he was going in college football. Let's look at his timeline for a sec. 2012, he committed to Washington. 2015, he decommits. 2015, he commits to A&M. He's talking to one of his buddies on Twitter, referring to Nick Starkel as ass, my dude, which Phil mentioned yesterday.
I just loved I got to read that tweet word for word yesterday on the air.
Commits to A&M 2015, says the A&M QBs, and I just mentioned that. Decommits from A&M in 2016, then enrolls at Ohio State in 2017. In 2018, when Justin Fields ends up deciding on Ohio State, he tweets out, "Don't swing and miss again," something to that extent. 2019, transfers to Miami, gets the waiver from the NCAA, and then ends up losing to a redshirt freshman in Jaron Williams. Oh man,
this kid has committed in every single time zone in the United States almost.
Yeah,
he is committed coast to coast. He's been beaten out in 2 spots, and he's this is somebody that now is becoming more known for who he's dating or just what she looks like, and his ability to move from one place to the other and still have as much eligibility as anybody else that hasn't played a single game yet.
So based on the conversations that I've had with him, that Bill Keene's college football knowledge is infinite. We'll have him on tomorrow. Definitely going to talk about Tate Martell. I remember first couple weeks I was working with Bill in Nashville, he was talking about how Tate Martell was overrated and never going to play at Ohio State, period.
Mm-hmm. And he was right.
And he was 100% right. The kid's out of, I think, Bishop Gorman High School, 4-star kid, didn't deserve to be as highly rated as he was. And Bill, as typically he always is, Right on the money. That's another get off my lawn. Tate Martell, just come on, buddy. Like, don't embody what everyone thinks my generation is, which is a bunch of crybabies if you don't get your way and if road gets tough. You can't do that, man. You got to persevere. You got to fight, and you got to stick to your guns. Sometimes you don't always get your way. Deal with it. It's part of life.
All right, so Ty, I want to give you a number here and see if you know what this means. Forget off my lawn. 5,479. You want to take a swing at what that number means right now to me?
5,400. It's got to be a baseball term.
So I sat down next to Ty Friday at the Phoenix location of Hardee's where we did our show and where he defeated me gloriously in a thick burger eating challenge. I had my phone out. And one
you
of the
lose.
four...
Good day, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, had to play that.
One of the four apps that I have at the bottom of my phone, which means the ones I use more than any, is my Gmail.
Oh.
And Ty takes a look at the bubble on top of the M on my Gmail app button, and he like noticeably cringes. And I think for a moment you might have gagged and you had to cover your mouth and hold your breath, otherwise you would have gotten sick. When he saw that currently I have 5,479 unopened emails. Not a single one of them means anything to me, by the way. There are a bunch of lists that I've been put on, box scores of teams I don't work for anymore, morning updates from this newspaper or that newspaper, or I was forced to put my email address in. But Ty, just like an ex-girlfriend of mine, has a visceral negative reaction to seeing even a single unopened email. And I have almost 5,500 of these things. And the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter. It ain't your phone. It's not your email address or your email account. So if it might make you cringe, it doesn't matter. It's my phone. Get off my lawn, hey, Tye Richardson.
Let's calm down there for a sec, big guy. Let's settle this a little bit. I looked at it. I was like, man, you got a lot of emails on your phone, dude. And then you went off in it, and I'm saying this all tongue in cheek. Phil went off in a tangent on me, and it was more a running joke or whatever. It's like I couldn't do with that. Like right now, my notifications, I got 3 text messages and a Snapchat on my phone right now.
I'm just going to fire off a bunch of empty emails to you right now. So I'm going to get that bubble up to a really uncomfortable number by the end of the show.
I like to have and I'm not a perfectionist. I don't know if it anal retentive or something, but there's certain things that I do not enjoy. Like my room is not exactly the creme de la creme. It's not the cleanest of clean, but there's certain things I like, and I like my phone to be notification free until I get something. I'll read it and then debate what to do with it. But yeah, that was an interesting thing for me when I saw Phil's phone on Friday. Last one for me, Pro Football Focus has some really good content, but the piece that they just came out with recently was not a fan of. They ranked the quarterbacks in Division I college football. I think it was 1 to 125. Arkansas, Ben Hicks, Nick Starkel were listed at 102. I really don't have a problem with that right off the bat. But, there's a big but.
This is a huge but.
Western Kentucky's Tye Story and Stephen Duncan were rated at number 100. That's where I draw the line. That's where I say, I've seen these guys play. I'm going to lean on Ben Hicks and Nick Starkel. Now, I can't speak to what Stephen Duncan can do on a football field. But... and there's a huge but. I can tell you right off the bat that Ben Hicks and Nick Starkel are both better than Tye Story. And I know we got some Charleston fans listening. That's probably not the thing you want to hear, but it's just reality, folks. It's just reality. So Pro Football Focus, for all the good content, for all the great stuff they've done over the years concerning college football, today they can get off my lawn.
What do we know about this Stephen Duncan? He must be a world beater. There's as much respect as we give to Tye Story for what he did and all the hits he took last season. I don't see him having, the arm strength or the accuracy of either Hicks or Starkel. So, an interesting choice there from Pro Football Focus. Did you get any of those emails yet, Ty? I sent you a few.
Yeah, I got 3.
Be careful. You better open those things before the show's over.
I'm just going to delete them. I typically try and get off my notifications. I can't read these out loud.
Yeah, don't read those on the air. That's for your eyes only, my friend. You're going to love Breeden RV and Motorsports because of their upfront pricing, no hassle pricing. They also open all their emails when it comes to them. Every single RV is heavily discounted right when it hits the lot at Breeden RV and Motorsports, so you're guaranteed to get the best price around. Breeden RV is also the only dealership around that offers maintenance for life at no extra charge on any new travel trailer, fifth wheel, or motorhome. So go see Breeden RV today, Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma, or just check out BreedenRV.com. We're coming back. A little update on a big Razorback event in Fort Smith on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com.
Good coaches win. Great coaches cover. You're listening to Halftime. It's Southern Tire Mart Free Brake Inspection Tuesday. This is the Morning Rush.
I remember sitting in a parent-teacher conference last year, and a teacher apologizing to me and my wife because my son had a bad grade because he hadn't done the work. And the teacher said, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have let this. No, it ain't your fault. It's his. He's got to do the work. And that's the problem. We don't make the kids do the work anymore. You got to do the work.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
What's up, everybody? This is John Neighbors of The Morning Rush coming to you live from Hardee's here at 1820 Phoenix Avenue, where we are doing our final third-pound thick burger eating competition qualifier for the 2019 season. If you come on out to 1820 Phoenix Avenue, eat a thick burger in 90 seconds or less, you get to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime to watch the Chiefs take on the Chargers December 29th in Kansas City this year. While you're at it, you can also check out their Charbroiled Double Deals for only $2.49 and get your choice of the Hardee's Classic, the Bacon Cheddar Double, or the Double Cheese. You can also try their Garlic Thick Burger, available only for a limited time. This is our last qualifying match here at Hardee's, and so we have a bunch of qualifiers, but we still have one spot left. You have to take advantage of it today, folks, because you may not get another opportunity. So come on by Hardee's at 1820 Phoenix Avenue here in Fort Smith. Eat a thick burger in 90 seconds or less, and you are qualified for the football trip of a lifetime.
When was the last time you looked forward to seeing the dentist? Well, if it's been a while or you haven't had the best of experience with dentistry, meet Marcy Van Ash McKinney of Family Dentistry. They take care of it all: crowns, bonding, dentures, bleaching, and cosmetic dentistry. They even offer oral consciousness sedation available for your comfort. That's Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry at 807 South 21st. Call for an appointment today, 494-7600. That's 494-7600.
Massey Ferguson tractors have arrived at Bush Machine and Tractor. Bush Machine and Tractor is proud to be the newest Massey Ferguson dealer in Western Arkansas, providing you with a full lineup of versatile Massey Ferguson tractors. They're built with straightforward power, smart fuel economy, and upgraded control and comfort. Stop by and find a new Massey Ferguson perfectly sized to fit your property or farm at Bush Machine and Tractor, 7301 South 0 Street in Fort Smith, or visit us online at bushtractor.com.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recording anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or stop by our location at the corner of Phoenix and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, or visit us online at shopwownow.com. Get the Hopper 3 today by calling WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474. Or online at shopwownow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
For over 80 years, Rhodes Chevrolet has been a name you can trust. Rhodes has always been dependable in the car buying and car owning experience. From the first time you walk into our showroom, you're treated like family. Part of the family-owned dealership and service department that has served Crawford County for over 8 decades. Find your next dependable vehicle today at 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren or at RhodesChevy.com. Find new Rhodes at Rhodes Chevrolet. Dependable since 1934.
Attention, please!
Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, offering smart looks for back to school and serving your community daily. Supercuts, we're super. in style. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
On first down now, Boyd to call. Catch back across the 40. Raheem to midfield. To the 40. To the 30. To the 20. He's going to the house. Raheem Boyd for a touchdown.
We got a pretty good, entertaining event happening in Fort Smith today. It is part of the Razorback tour that has the Razorback Roadshow. One Razorback Roadshow is headed to Fort Smith. I think by the end of the month, don't we have one of those one hog calls like they did last year in Little Rock, I think in Fayetteville and wherever else anybody else is?
Yeah, the 30th. You can tell my enthusiasm as I talk about it, Phil.
Oh, that's the day before the first game of the season, huh? I went to the event at War Memorial last year where they put everybody in the corner of the end zone where Matt Jones found a Corey Birmingham, and it was fun. It was fun. You saw coaches that aren't part of the athletic department anyway. Mike Anderson was there. Dave Van Horn was there, of course, and it was fun. I thought they were going to do it again, and this, I guess, is part of it. Eric Musselman, Mike Neighbors, Lance Harder, and Chris Bucknam are being joined by Big Red and the Spirit Squad, and many personalities from ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com will be in attendance, including one Tye Richardson.
Yeah, I'll be there. John will be there. Tommy will be there. We'll get over there around 5 or so, and I'm kind of curious to see. I haven't been to one of these events yet. Obviously, what's attracted me is the free food and beverages, as typically those type of events
just makes you a self-respecting member of the sports media.
Yeah,
Time.
Exactly. So anytime there's free food, free drinks, you can typically get me to go somewhere. But I'm excited just to see what they got tonight. And this is, again, I go back to the idea with Hunter Yurchek as the athletic director that he listens to the fans. And I'm not talking about a select group of fans. I'm not talking about the big-time donors. I'm not talking about the board. I'm talking about the overall collective idea of the fan base. You think about some things he's done in his tenure. No one's name on the court. The enhanced game day experience, again, we haven't seen it yet, so we'll see what happens with Hogtown. The back-end contracts where you're rewarding coaches for winning down the stretch, not just giving them fat buyouts. Like, he has listened to what a lot of fans have had gripes about and wanted to happen. Now, I'm not going to say he's listened to everything, he's done everything they've told him to, because that would be idiotic if he followed everything the fans wanted him to do, because some fans wanted Chad Morris fired last year, and that would have been stupid. But it just seems like, based on what and I think Tom Murphy brought it up this morning, that he listens to him. And you don't always get that with ADs, Phil. I thought he's done a pretty good job of that. He's been out here over a year and a half, a little bit. So, I mean, a lot left on his tenure. Could be stuff he does that people don't like, but I liked what he's done so far. And I think a lot of people are in the same line of thinking on that one.
Well, the coaches that will be in attendance again, two of the more successful coaches with Lance Harder and his national champion women's track and field team, Chris Bucknam with the men's track and field team, and then for Mike Neighbors and Eric Musselman, of course, Mike entering his third year as the head coach, Muss's first season. Be pretty interesting to see what they'll have to say at Uncorked, 5 o'clock, part of the Razorback Roadshow. All right, we'll step aside for a break. We're joined by Greg Cook, former Razorback, longtime NFL lineman, and current sports talk host in Houston, Texas. That's next on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com.
Good coaches win. Great coaches cover. You're listening to Halftime. ESPN 95.3 is live on location.
What's up, everybody? This is John Neighbors of The Morning Rush coming to you live from Hardee's here in Fort Smith at 1820 Phoenix Avenue, where we're doing another third-pound thick burger eating competition qualifier where you have to come on out and eat a thick burger 90 seconds or less so you can qualify for the football trip of a lifetime to watch the Chiefs and Chargers play each other in Kansas City December 29th of this football season. Listen, folks, we've already had 2 people walk in, and both of them have failed. It's not an easy, so we got to make sure that we get the best of the best to come in here and try to qualify When you're coming into Hardee's, though, be sure to check out one of the Charbroiled Double Deals for only $2.49. And get your choice of the Hardee's Classic, the Bacon Cheddar Double, or the Double Cheese. You can also try the Garlic Bread Thick Burger, available for a limited time as well. We're going to be out here until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Again, this is your last chance to qualify. We only have one more spot for a qualifier. It could be you, but you got to come out to Hardee's at 1820 Phoenix Avenue, eat a thick burger, 90 seconds or less, and you are in the qualifier for the football trip of a lifetime.
This is Mark Hurst. It's back to school time for our kids and teachers, and for a lot of our families, including mine, back to school means back to a routine. At Hurst Family Dental Care, we recommend a routine when it comes to your dental cleanings. For a lot of us, routine cleanings are included at no additional charge through our dental insurance, but often we get out of the routine taking advantage of that benefit. Call our office today at 474-1972 to set up your routine cleaning. Hurst Family Dental Care, a name you know and a name you can trust.
Football season is here at Crabtree RV in Alma. We make tailgating with your favorite team very affordable, with discounts up to $15,000 off new fifth wheels and $10,000 off new travel trailers. Check out deals like the new Catalina with patio for as low as $249 a month. Browse the area's largest indoor showroom and explore the new 2020 styles from Grand Design and Coachman Freedom Express. That's only at Crabtree RV in Alma, where your family's dreams come true.
You've worked hard your whole life anticipating the day you could finally retire. If that day is near, there are 5 things you need to do. Spend wisely, understand your retirement plan distribution options, plan for your required minimum distributions, know your Social Security options, and consider phasing. Call Brad Lewis at United Financial Advisors to discuss these steps in detail at 242-7466 or through our website at ufadvisors.net.
Securities and advisory services offered through Royal Alliance Associates, member FINRA SIPC. United Financial Advisors is a marketing destination.
Only 10% of collision repair shops achieve ICAR Gold Class status, the highest training level recognized in the industry. Evans Body Shop is proud to be one of them. We know the latest repair techniques, how to find hidden damage, and repair your car's critical safety features so they work properly again. We invest in training because we would never cut corners with your family's safety at stake, and neither should you. Get your vehicle repaired at Evans Body Shop, where your safety is our top priority. Evans Body Shop, 412 Gordon Avenue, Van Buren.
Where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Attention, please! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, offering smart looks for back to school and serving your community daily. Supercuts, we're super in style. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Sterner, 5-step drop this time, going for the home run, and it's caught! It's Lucas, and he's heading for the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas, 80 yards!
Welcome back to Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com. We're joined right now on the Cherokee Casino Hotline by Greg Cook, former Arkansas Razorback offensive lineman, spent 11 years in the NFL as an offensive lineman as well, and currently a Sports Talk host on Sports Talk 790 in Houston. Greg, thanks for a few moments here on our show. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, guys.
You got it. So it's got to be a great time to be a Sports Talk host in Houston, where you've got the NFL season coming up, the Texans coming off 11 wins, got some of the most exciting players in the game, the Rockets, Westbrook and Harden, the Astros, maybe the best team in Major League Baseball. So I guess I would start with you. What are you talking about these days on Sports Talk 790? Is it more baseball, football, basketball? What is it?
Well, we like to talk Astros because, you know, they won a World Series a couple of years ago, and they probably have the best rotation in the major leagues right now. And from top to bottom, there's not a hole in that lineup. But you're also talking about the state of Texas, and the state of Texas revolves around the sport of football. So we still talk a lot of Texans. We throw in Astros and Rockets, but we talk a lot of Houston, Texas, talk a lot of Aggies, talk a lot about Longhorns. It's still a football state.
Is there the feeling for you as a former Razorback that when people say Texas is back, you want to say, hold on a minute, I'm not quite sure about that yet?
Yeah, I mean, I always say that. My radio partner, Indy Kalu, played at Rice, so we always go back and we still pick our Southwest Conference top 10 or top 11 every week during the season. So it's hard to let go of that. But, I mean, I understood the move when Arkansas went to the SEC and the amount of money it meant to the university. Didn't mean I had to like it because I still think of them as being in the SWC. But, you know, the Southeastern Conference West, I mean, what a tremendous division to be in. Very hard to win, but you're going to play some of the best teams in the country. So it was a great move for Arkansas. Now they just need to get the team to get them lined up to play the guys that they have to play in that conference.
Well, and that kind of is, what we talk about quite a bit here. Tye and I got into the idea earlier that on a CBS Sports list of the best teams in each state, that CBS had Arkansas State listed representing the state of Arkansas.
I saw that this morning, and that was somewhat embarrassing. But you know what? If you'd have told me that the Razorbacks would have a 2-win season, I would have laughed at you. I would have never thought that the school would have gotten to that point. But I have complete faith in Chad Morris that he'll bring them back around. He needs to get his guys in there, and I think once he does, you'll see a much better product on the field than the Razorbacks.
Talking with Greg Cook, Sports Talk 790 Houston, former Packer, former Hog. I don't know, Greg, if you know a guy by the name of Brett Good. He played for Arkansas as a lawn snapper and then moved on to Green Bay. But it was interesting. I had a conversation with him a couple months back talking about the two fan bases, and I asked him point blank, Brett, what's the better fan base, Arkansas or Green Bay? And I thought he was going to come back with Arkansas. I said the Packers. They sell at every game regardless of how they are, like winning, losing. And obviously professional and college is different, but between the two fan bases, which would you say was better and just as a better overall fan base between the Packers and the Razorbacks back in the day?
I would put them neck and neck with one another because, see, when I played with the Packers, when I first got there, we played most of our home games in Green Bay, but we still played 2 or 3 in Milwaukee, just like the Razorbacks do in Fayetteville and Little Rock. So I always noticed that similarity. But, Arkansas, when I went there, one of the reasons R.C. Tillman and I went from the same high school to Arkansas is we liked that they were the team in the state. I mean, the Razorbacks were it. They were national power. We wanted to go there. And then once we got there, and you couldn't pass a house or a store or anything without a Razorback symbol on it or a trail of hogs. And we just loved that in the fan base. And that's exactly how it is in Green Bay. People will their tickets. They down. I played golf in a golf tournament a couple of years ago with a guy. He was 42. He put in for his tickets at 18, and he had just gotten them for the Packers. So wow. I loved both fan bases. I feel very blessed to have played in front of both fan bases. And I tell you, if you had to tell me to pick one, it'd be tough for me to do because they're both just phenomenal.
The similarities go even deeper because people will say, the Razorbacks are Arkansas's team. They play in Northwest Arkansas. Green Bay, that's Wisconsin's football team. That's why you were playing in Milwaukee all those games.
Right, it really is because it's Green Bay is a city of 102,000 people. I mean, I live in Houston where we have about 5 million people, and we have a team, a city of 102,000. It's really the entire state supports the Packers. And, the great thing about Packer fans is you can walk into a restaurant, and if they recognize you, they can tell you where you went to college, what your height and weight is. Sometimes it's a little too much, but you realize their passion for football. And, Green Bay is basically a ghost town on Packer game days because everybody's at the game.
So you mentioned your teammate, R.C. Tillman, and one of the things you talked about with Arkansas is the fact that there were so many fans in the state that were dedicated to that program. You had a great head coach in the late Frank Broyles, and he was known as a masterful recruiter, but the story that you told the ADG a couple years back is your dad didn't want you to go. So what went into your recruiting process, Greg, of ultimately deciding on Arkansas and kind of going against your dad's wishes a little bit?
Well, he just thought that Texas boys stayed in Texas to play football. Now, it was funny because then my little brother came out later, and he committed with Baylor, and he said, I have one smart kid, and then on National Signing Day, he signed with LSU. But no, the thing that RC and I like most about it is that Arkansas was the school in the state. If you looked at the Southwest Conference, then the only school not in the state of Texas was Arkansas. And the fact that not only do we like Coach Broyles, but if you've ever been to Houston, it's pretty flat, it's pretty dry. Arkansas is up in the beautiful Ozarks in northwest Arkansas. We like that. And what people don't remember is that our freshman year, our offensive coordinator was Joe Gibbs, and our defense coordinator was Jimmy Johnson. So we had some pretty good coaches as well. And we just decided to make that stick. And, the end of that story is that my dad became one of the biggest Razorback fans you'll ever see. So it all worked out well for everybody.
You mentioned your coaches. You also happened to be there when there was a freshman quarterback by the name of Houston Nutt, and you used to prank him back in the day a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah, we gave Houston a hard time because he was a big name coming out of Arkansas, and we had a walk-in whirlpool, and sometimes Houston would have to go into the whirlpool in full uniform like 5 minutes before he had to report, so he would report to practice soaking wet. But that was just senior hazing. You know, I don't think that happens anymore. I don't think I saw Houston one time on campus. He goes, "Greg Cook, what are you doing here?" And I said, "I'm going to law school." He goes, "No, really, what are you doing here?" I think he knew I'd be with the law, but he didn't know what side I'd be on.
What sort of law did you practice, and what got you interested in that coming off of a career in football?
You know, really, I'd always planned on going to med school, and then when I got done with football, you're basically 34 years old, and you don't want to know what you want to be when you grew up. So I just knew that I hadn't done anything to that point without a lawyer, so I decided I'd go to law school, not really planning on practicing law, but you know, it'd look good on my resume. And then I did very well in law school. I mean, it's easier when you're older and have two kids. You're not running around, you're going home and studying. So I had a good career in law school, and then I got recruited by law firms. So I figured, well, that's what I need to do. And I practiced law for 19 years, and then this radio show opportunity came up, and they said if you have a good show, it usually lasts about 3 years in Houston, and we're going into our 8th year. So I've been very blessed. I
saw where maybe this goes into the career choices you picked after your football career came to an end. Were you really referred to at times as the Texan with the 10-gallon mouth? Is this a real nickname?
Well, I had a reporter call me that, and that's only because I've always thought that if you're involved with a football team or a football organization and you're part of that team, if somebody asked me a question, I was going to answer it. I mean, I didn't give you, well, we'll do it for the betterment of the team. I mean, I told you what I thought. Now, it got me in trouble sometimes, but I still, to this day, I mean, if you ask me what I think about certain things, I don't ever sugarcoat it. I usually just tell you the way I feel. And one guy said, he called me the Texan with 10-gallon mouth, and it stuck with some of my friends. I don't usually like to refer back to it, but I really appreciate you guys bringing it up. Thanks.
Well, it's great. I mean, you got the voice that goes along with it too, I think. But I wanted to ask then an opinion about holdouts, because I read, I don't know if you held out in camp, but you did leave camp early a couple of times with the Packers, maybe for different reasons than why, Ezekiel Elliott is gone and why Antonio Brown is gone and Jadeveon Clowney and whatnot. But why did you leave camp early a couple of times? What was your point you were trying to make?
One time was over money, and which most holdouts are over. And then another time was we hired a new head coach after they fired Frank Broyles. And in my entire playing career, high school, college, and pro football up to that point, I had never not got along with a coach. But me and this particular coach just did not see eye to eye on anything. I didn't like the way he coached. I didn't think he coached very well. And by that time, I had about 10 years in the league, and I just didn't want to put up with it anymore. So I said, I'd like to be traded. And he said, I'm not going to trade you. And so I said, well, I'm not going to play for you. So I walked out, and then he could have traded me, but he didn't. And they got that football reserve exempt list, and he threatened to put me on that. And when you go on that, not only can you not get paid, but you can't play for that team. You can't play for any team in the NFL. So it was kind of a petty thing to do. Maybe on both parts, I probably shouldn't have walked out. I should have just, stayed in there and said, look, I'll play, but I would really wish you would try to trade me. And then the next year, he decided to let me go. And he could have traded me, but he decided to let me go, and I was immediately picked up by the Dolphins. So it worked out in the long run.
Talking with Greg Cook, former Hog, former Packer, actually got named one of the 100 greatest Packers yesterday, and I bet that was kind of a cool experience. Greg, we're running out of time here, so I want to go on this last story. You at one point got to run in a 2-point conversion in your Razorback days. Steve Little, I think, got injured, and you convinced Frank back in the day to let you run the football, and then I don't think you got to do that again. But how did you go about convincing Frank to let you run in a 2-point conversion, and kind of what was going through your mind at that point?
Oh, I think that was when we played Baylor, and they literally had a guy jump offside on the opening kickoff, and the minute Steve Little kicked the ball, he hit him right under the chin, knocked Steve out for about good 10 minutes. He had to be taken to the hospital. And that fired up our team, and it was supposed to be a close game, and I think we beat Baylor 43-9 that week, and RC kicked a field goal, and I got to run. Everybody kind of knew that it was planned, and I ended up playing with a guy named Ronnie Lee in Miami that played on that Baylor team. He's the guy that hit Little, and Grant Tabb had written a letter to Steve saying, "Oh, we don't condone that type of behavior." And Ronnie Lee told me they practiced that all week to knock out our starting kicker to give them an edge in the game, and so it was more payback than anything else. I think Frank, he usually would not do that kind of thing, but he was a little upset about it as well. And what a great coach he was. I was very lucky to have him as a head coach.
Well, we're lucky to have you with us today, Greg. Really great conversation. Appreciate your time. Have a great show today on Sports Talk 790, and hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Anytime, guys, and go Razorbacks.
Absolutely. Greg Cook, former Razorback, former Packer, and current host on Sports Talk 790. That was fun. All right, we'll come back with the cherry on the top for halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
The best midday show in the Natty State. You're listening to Halftime. It's Southern Tire Mart Free Brake Inspection Tuesday.
B&J Comfort Solutions provides home comfort and energy solutions to the River Valley, specializing in residential sales, service, and installation, offering only the absolute best customer service around. Call them for any of your service, maintenance, or replacement needs. B&J Comfort Solutions offer an industry-leading 5-year labor warranty on all new system installations. Veteran-owned and operated, and satisfaction is always guaranteed. Contact B&J Comfort Solutions today at 479-646-0284.
Your number one Arkansas fan, Auto Owners Insurance and Kohler & Green Insurance is a winning combination. We will work with you to insure your home, auto, business, and life to keep everything you value safe, sound, secure. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit Kohler & Green Insurance in Fort Smith. Call 484-9888. And Kohler & Green Insurance in Van Buren. Call 474-9888 today or online at kohlergreen.com.
Chalupas, tamales, and refried beans. The freshest tortillas that you'll ever eat. Authentic, delicious, we all can agree. It's the real taste of Mexican food.
Juan's Mexican Restaurant, where every Tuesday is Taco Tuesday. $1 tacos every Tuesday plus 99-cent margaritas. Just $1 taco and 99-cent margaritas. So bring the whole family and enjoy Taco Tuesday at Juan's.
It's the real taste of Mexican food.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security